friends. Today I think we're going to do a little experimenting slash like a battle of chromes. I have had my fair share of matte top coats. I have probably used in total, I'm going to say about somewhere from 8 to 10. And when I say used, I mean use the entire bottle from beginning to end. I'm here with my my top 2 matte top coats. And then I have 2 others that I thought I liked in the past. So, turns out I don't exactly like them anymore. And what I thought I'd do to make a level playing field is go ahead and get 4 nail tips. I put 2 coats of gel polish on top of each one. I just went in with this one that I got recently a week or so ago. And so this is a fair playing field, okay? These do not have any top coats on them just yet. And then I figured I'd pull out the 4 that I would like to compare. So before I go into the matte top coats that we're going to compare, I'm going to show you kind of what we're going to do. This is kind of going to be the final effect, is a matte base or a matte top coat with the isolated chrome on top, okay? And to do that, we're going to use from Function of X, we're going to use this Black Void gel polish because, and I have it here on a palette with my brush, we're going to use this because it is a no wipe black top coat. It is excellent. So I don't have any affiliations with any of these products. So this is just, I don't have any affiliate. I'm just letting you know. Okay. So that's the product we're going to use to make our lines. And then the product we're going to use to put on top, the chrome. I figured I want to go with some high-end stuff here. So these are things that are tried and true to me. I know that this is good. This is a Blanc Blanc chrome and the number is W66, just in case you're wondering. I will put links to everything in the description box of this video. Okay, so now we know what we're working with. So, and everything is going to have the same because, of course, if you're doing an experiment, if you remember from your science classes, you have to have baseline information. So I won't make this too academic. We're just kind of like I mentioned, we're trying to give everything here an even playing field. Okay, I do want to point out that Function of X because Function of X is one of the mats we're going to be using today. In this experiment, we're going to be using the Slick Matte. Function of X also has a ceramic matte. This one I use for Aura products, for Aura nails, and this one's better for isolated chrome, according to F of X themselves. That's their statement on their website. So I picked the Slick Matte to use, and this bottle is probably about halfway full. I've been using it for a while. But I'm not going to use the ceramic matte today, so I'm going to put that back. But I just wanted to let you know they do have 2 mattes. Then I received this one today. This is by Ball Pit Nails. It's called the Anti-Chrome Matte Top Coat. And I used it for the first time today, and I was blown away, okay? And so that's kind of what prompted this whole video for me. Then we will also be trying the Zero Matte Top Coat by Divock. This one I purchased from Sweetie Nail Supply. This one is pretty much done. So I'm just letting you know, well, there's a tiny bit left in there, probably all the way at the bottom. I'm not going to be using this bottle. I have a brand new box here of this Divock because, I don't know, I figured let's give this one a good shot. Even though I've used the most of it, I'm going to open a brand new one. Then, this is the first one that I ever used, which is the Beetles Matte Top Gel. And this is a brand new one, so I'll be opening 2 brand new products here. Not brand new to me, but they are brand new in the box so that you'll know we're starting from, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's not like I've used it till the end. That's why I didn't want to use this one in this battle, because it may not be the same quality as when you first open the bottle, right? So that's what I'm trying to show you here. This one is brand new except for one use, and this one is about halfway used. I have been enjoying it. But when I used the Anti-Chrome by Ball Pit today, I was like, this is a different level of isolated chrome. Like, it's exactly what I see in everybody's videos that people are trying to achieve. And I just thought to myself, you know what? Let's do this. Let's make a video out of this so we can see for sure with our own eyes. This is not me enhancing anything. I didn't put a different bottle of something in the Beatles or the Divock. This is exactly, these are the products exactly as they come, and they're not old products, so that we can compare them nicely, right? So let's get on to this. The first thing I'm going to do is go in and put all my top coats on. So I am going to do this on the camera with you, but I probably will put this over music because there's not much to see here. But except for me just showing you exactly what I'm doing and that I'm actually doing what I'm saying I'm doing, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. As I wait for that last one to cure under the lamp, by the way, I cured them all for 60 seconds under my lamp. What I think I'm going to do is I'm probably going to put, just to be able to identify them a little bit better, I'm probably going to put a Z for Zero Matte on this one. I'm going to put the letter B here, even though this one's Ball Pit. So they're both companies with the letter B, but we'll do a B, a Z, maybe the letter A for Anti on the Ball Pit one, and then Slick Matte, maybe we'll put the letter F for F of X. All right, so let's go in and do the letter B. While I am, I'm going to do my best here. I am not the best at writing letters with brushes. However, the length or whatever of this, I don't know what it is of this brush, is helping me out a little bit. This is pathetic, what's happening with this letter right now, but I'm also really not, I'm not going to pull my hair out trying to do anything that special with these, this design, because it's not a design. We're just doing an experiment. Okay, so this one is going to be the Zero Matte. I'm just going to put a little bit of do the best as I can, maybe a Zorro Z. Okay. And you know what? Let me get started with curing these under the lamp. I did come to find out when trying to write letters on nails, one of the things that will help you write a letter, and I have never heard anybody mention this, is they're always saying make sure that let me give you a close up here. They're always saying make sure you don't have a lot of paint on your brush, right? And so I would say that, and make sure it's even too, right? So I just took some off of the brush because it was uneven on the brush itself. You want there to be the same amount of paint all over the brush bristle, okay? But what I've noticed is when it comes to writing letters or making swirls or something, you kind of want to load up the brush a little bit more so that it's got more paint than normal. So we're doing Slick Matte, and I said I was going to do an F. So the brush gets a little more weighty when you put more paint on it. And then you're able to, I want to say better manipulate the brush, but for whatever reason, the brush having more weight on it from having a little bit more paint with letters helps you kind of like manipulate, and you can do circles without it kind of flicking all over the place. I'm not sure that that made any sense to anybody, but it makes sense to me as I've experimented with it, and it seems to be working out better for me when I load the brush up with a little bit more paint. Okay, I think we're done with this part of it for now because everything is under the lamp curing, and I'll go ahead and set this one down so we can have everybody in the same order. And then, all right, let's see. I'm going to take the Beatles one. Actually, let me get my chrome ready and a paper towel. All right, and I just want to point out that I have like eyeshadow applicators. That's what they call them, but these are very clean, so we're good to go with that. So we're going to be able to use a brand new one for each one. And then I have a couple of makeup sponges here so we can remove the chrome once we're at that part and we're done. We're getting ready to remove it. Okay, so now I'm going to pull my nails back. So we've got the B, we've got the Z. Okay, for Zero Matte. And I'm just going to get started with some of this. I'll just come a little closer to the camera. But like I said, we're using the same chrome for everybody. We're using the same black void for the letters. And let's see how this goes. Okay, as I mentioned, this is the Beatles top coat. Let me get my chrome in the picture. I usually just like taking from the lid. I think that kind of makes more sense to me. Let me just show you. Let's get some more. Let's get some more on there. And now let me just show you what that looks like, okay? So here I go. And I'm going to be applying the same pressure on each one of these. I don't know. I don't even know what's happening right here. I couldn't even tell you what's going on. It still looks black to me. Okay, let me put that one down for a second. I'm going to flip over my applicator so it's clean again. And I'll go back into the lid and try to get a good amount on here. Okay, so let's go into the Divock Zero Matte, putting the same amount of pressure. And I don't see much happening here either. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a different applicator. I'm going to go in with my silicone applicator because, of course, I do want to give, everybody the benefit of the doubt. But to be fair, what I should do is, do the same thing to all of them. So I'm going to go in with this one, this anti-matte. And see, I already see that this one's got chrome. This one's turning into a chrome letter instead of, let me see if I can show you what the B looks black still. I mean, the A has got a few parts that look like it might be black, but let's keep going. All right, and then again, another clean side. I'm just gonna go into my chrome and just start on here. Okay, so I am gonna wipe off the excess in 1 second so we can see what we're working with. Sometimes I feel like if I just keep going in with this chrome, it tends to start coming off and doing the opposite of what we want. All right, so I'm going to take a clean makeup sponge and just clean this off, wipe it. We have this is just a hot mess. There is absolutely nothing going on this nail that I want to happen. It's everything the opposite. So I am going to give it another shot with my silicone applicator. So I'm going to put this one to the side for a minute. But let's just go in and do the same thing to this one. It just shocks me so much that like nothing happened. Now, are the surfaces matte? Sure, I think the surfaces are very matte. But when we're talking with when we're dealing with isolated chrome, that's only half of the battle, right? We need the we need the chrome to stick on to the letter. So now let's go in with this one. This is the anti-chrome. And I'm just going to wipe this is what I was impressed with. This is just so impressive to me. So this whole thing has been chromed. There's no spot on here that is still black. And to be perfectly honest with you, the rest of the surface is not holding any of the glitter particles. I can just wipe them off, the glitter, the kind of chrome particles. They're just not there. They are still on. This is, I don't know. I don't even know. I have no, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. But for this one, some of the glitter particles are staying on there. So that's not even, yes, there's no chrome on the Z, right? Great, that's one problem that we have. But what my problem is with isolated chrome, or what a lot of people run into, is that the little glitter particles tend to stay onto the mat, and then that's really not what you're looking for. You know, you're looking for it to be only on the place that you put that, that you're placing the chrome on, right? So that looks fantastic. All right, let's go on to the slick matte, which was my champion before. This was my go-to slick matte from Function of X, and I did a video on, I believe, where I did my first impressions. All right, so this one's not bad either. Let's see if it's exactly what I want, though. Now, what's strange is that this one is only partially chromed. So the top of the F is kind of black still, so it didn't receive a lot of the chrome. And I don't know that's the issue of the chrome, or is it the, you know, you can't tell which variable it is. But if I have to point out anything, how come this one got it all right? How come this one product got it all right? Everything being the same, right? So again, I'm just going to point out, we use the black void for everything. This is a no wipe top coat, so it does receive chrome. Actually have been communicating with Function of X, and they recommend that for chrome. But what I'm going to do one better. I think I can do a little bit better. I think I'm going to take out my Gin B no wipe crazy top coat. I'll put a line underneath each one of the letters so that we know it's, you know, it's not like I overlapped on the letters. We'll cure it, and then we'll see how well that chrome, the chrome adheres to the top coat, okay? So let me get started with that. Again, I will do that over some music because it's really kind of boring otherwise, but just so that you can see that I am I'm doing everything the same for all four of these. All right, so I'm going to put the chrome to the side for a minute. I better cover this, otherwise if I sneeze, it's all over. And let me get, so I feel so bad for this one. This is very sad. I don't know. Beetles top coat, I love a lot of the Beetles products. I do not like this matte top coat. More specifically, let me just point out, I don't like the top coat for isolating chrome. It's not, I guess it's not bad for other things, but this just shows me that things are going to get caught on this matte top coat. So even if I didn't have any of this on top, the matte top coat will likely grip on to other particles that I just don't want on there. Okay, so here we go. Let me get to this, be quiet, and let's get to that second part, okay? Okay, because the Beatles is such a tragedy, I feel really bad about that. However, you know, I do want to let you know what's quality and what's not. So I'm going to give it another shot. So I'm not only going to cover the line that I just did, but I'm going to try again with my silicone applicator and go over the B. Okay. let's, oh, was I supposed to, you know what? Oh, okay. Let's just deal with the B for a second. All right, so that guy, yeah. I like to think that it's the matte top coat, but I'm also wondering, like, why isn't it staying? I don't know. All I know is that we have one winner so far, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wipe this off with acetone. I'm going to give it a nice good shot because we know it's not going to work over the B, but I'm going to wipe everything, give it a clean slate, and then I'll go back in over that line, and let me do that on camera. And all of my other nails are ready. My anti-chrome, where am I going to put that? Anti-chrome is there. And my F of X. All right, so getting my acetone out. We are cleaning this Beetles one up. We're gonna come in and try to give you a little head start, Mr. Beetles, by cleaning you up, okay? All right, we'll come back to you, but let's move on. We'll come back. All right, so for the letter Z, I'm sorry, for the Zero Matte, let's go in with the applicator. I'm gonna hold it like this so I can have a good, I wanna make sure I'm pressing as hard as I should be. That's looking a little promising actually. So, interesting. Now I need to find out if it's my black void that's the problem. It might be. It might be the black void. Well, but if that's the case, then it would stick to this. Well, let's give it a try. All right. Let's give it a try. All right, we might have found the issue that it's the black void itself. It's just curious to me that it did work on one. And it's not like those two products are from the same company. So the black void and the anti-chrome, that's Function of X and that's Ball Pit. So it's not like they work well together because they're from the same company. All right, but we are giving the Beetles a second chance. And what we're doing here is just going in and removing the chrome as best we can. So this is a great example, not that I wanted this to happen, but this is a great example of why the Beetles matte top coat just doesn't work for me. As I go to, let me even do it with a brush. As I go to remove the particles, the chrome particles, or I use a sponge, or, you know, my last resort would be like, let me get in there with a brush or something and clean it up with some acetone. But I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that today because that's not the level of quality that I want for the product that I'm going to be using for isolating chrome. But you can see down here, there's the problem that we face when using matte top coats that maybe weren't created for isolated chrome. So we can forget about the B for a second, maybe the Function of X black. I mean, it did work for other things, but we'll get past that, okay? But let's look at the DVOC. Let's go in on the DVOC. I'm gonna give it a little bit more chrome. And then I'm gonna, you know what, let's get a new makeup sponge and wipe. Okay. So this is, for me, this had been a good quality one. And it looks like it's coming out okay. Remember, this was a brand new makeup sponge that I'm using, so it's not like it had particles on it before. It did not have the chrome particles before. So for me, this is obviously better than the Beetles one, okay? This is better than the Beetles one, but still not to the level that I want. Now, I'm gonna say that the Beetles, well, I know that the Beetles is the most inexpensive one, but the other three are about $20 a piece. So these are $20 bottles. I expect a lot from a $20 bottle of matte, okay? And here I see particles that are still sparkling all over the nail, and I can still see some down here where I don't want it down there. I don't want it not on the you know, the Gin B Crazy Top Coat. So it's definitely better than the Beatles one, but not quite what I'm looking for. All right, and then I want to go in with my chrome on the ball pit, which is the anti-chrome, right? This is from Ball Pit Nails. And give this a wipe. Maybe give it a little brush action here. Okay. So what I really like is the way that the letter A came out, but the this Gin B, I still see a little bit remaining there at the bottom. A little bit at the bottom. But overall, what I appreciate the most is when I was able to get rid of some of these particles, some of these magnetic particles. Am I saying that wrong? Yeah, I'm talking about chrome. Okay, we're talking about chrome, not magnetic particles. So that looks like a little bit of a disaster at the bottom too. But like I said, I'm cool with the letter A. That letter A came out perfect, exactly what I wanted. Now I wonder if this has something to do with the Gin B. Is that also not a good? I know plenty of people use the Gin B for isolating chrome. I'm just going to go over this with some acetone to give it a nice clean finish start. Okay, and then I will go back in with the chrome. This is the F of X, Function of X Slick Matte. There's tons of chrome here at the bottom. All right, I'm going to give this one more shot. I'm going to go in with a different product. Let me go grab it. I'll be right back. These are No Wipe painting gels. This is in the shade Stone. This is also from F of X. So what I'm going to do is just put a little dot. Let me get a dotting tool. I'm going to take some of the Stone, put a little at the top, because I know this to be a No Wipe product. I'll cure that. Put some over here. Okay, so we can start working with these two because the other two are still under the lamp. And this is, as I mentioned, this is a No Wipe painting product. I'm just going to go in with some of the chrome on top there. So that No Wipe means you don't have to put a top coat over that. That looks pretty good. Huh. Okay. All right, I think we have the answer, folks. The Beatles one does not, it doesn't look terrible at all. I mean, it's still got a few of the like chrome. That's the problem. It's still got a few of the chrome particles on there that are not coming off. But as far as like the chrome, it's on there pretty good. And it's on just the area that I wanted it. Like I said, the only problem that I have here is if I put a top coat on this, all these little glitters are going to be, you know, still on there, and just not what we want, you know. All right, let me put this product aside so it's not in my way. Then let's go on to the Z. Let's do the same thing. Going with it. And that one's pretty good. That one's really good. Okay. So we can compare these two. Yeah, that Black Void, I don't know. I really can't figure out why, you know, only one out of the 4 letters worked. If you guys have insight, please let me know. I always want to learn about the chemical processes of these things, and if maybe you understand a little bit more than I do. Okay, let's go into the anti-chrome, cover that guy up. But see, this is the result I want. I want no little particles around, none, 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 none. So that is like, that's what I'm looking for, where there's none of those silver particles are on top of there. And then last but not least is the function of X. We'll just go in with a little bit of, not a little bit, but you know, we'll go in with the chrome on this one too. And this one is doing a good job too of not holding on to the silver particles from the chrome. So that area looks good as well. I don't know what happened with the Gin B. I don't know what's going on because they all failed. And like I said, most of them failed with the Black Void. So I don't understand that either. But the one that's consistently good is that fine print gel. So, and let me just point out, this Blanc Blanc Chrome is a high quality one. It is the one that I used for this one. It works fantastic. So I know that the Chrome is a good quality one. But here we have it. Here we have our results. And I think that if you are probably doing nails for yourself, maybe those extra little glitter particles won't bother you, right? But in the case of a person that, my top two, by the way, are going to be the Slick Matte and Anti-Chrome. So if I had to recommend some to you, it's going to be this Ball Pit Anti-Chrome or the F of X Slick Matte. And I might even have I think I have somebody's discount code where you can get 10% off for probably both of these. So if I have that, I'll put that in the description box too. So yeah, I don't know that I'm going to recommend these for isolating chrome. I can say that if you're just going for a matte surface and you want to save a few bucks, you can probably use that Beetles one. The Divock Zero Matte, it is a great matte top coat when we're not talking about isolating chrome. And I am just probably going to throw this other one away because it's probably seen better days. But I'm very excited to get more use out of the Ball Pit Anti-Chrome. I'm excited to have this one. I bet you I'm just going to keep pulling for this one. And I'm not going to use it for anything else but, you know, isolating chrome. So I'm really, really glad to have this one. And then the Slick Matte, it's a very good product too, but I might have just found my new favorite, which is the Anti-Chrome. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you guys today. Let me know what you think. Should I have done the experiment differently? Should I have used another non-wipe product? Could you have recommended me something else to use instead? I would love to hear your feedback. Okay, so I didn't feel that great at the end of my experiment because I just felt like I wanted a little bit more I don't know, information or a sample of what we're doing. Let me explain as I pull everything out. Okay, so this time I'm going to take another type of silver chrome. This is a Beetles chrome. I have not used it yet. I do trust Beetles chrome. I have been a fan of Beetles products since the beginning. So I've got myself another applicator. Well, I've got myself two applicators here because we have the 4 nails. I am going to use a different applicator. I went in with the same exact process though. So I chose a different color so that you could see we're doing this is a different part of the video, just so we can be, you know, sure. And then I'm choosing a different chrome, still one that I trust nonetheless, so that we can get a more clear answer. Let me see. Yeah, see, I haven't even opened this one yet. It's still sealed. There we go. Okay. So we are going to do the same process with the 4 chromes. Okay, so let's get into this. I'm going to start off with the Beetles like we did before, and I'm just going to grab some of the chrome. And maybe I should move these guys out of the way. They have all been cured for 60 seconds with the same product, the fine print in the shade stone. This is a 3D no wipe art gel, and it's from Function of X. So I'll just go in over the letter B. We'll see how this one applies. That is a really nice silver chrome. And I'll start off by just giving it a good dusting, right? And that does seem to work for the most part, but we want to get the chrome out of the center there. And this is kind of what happened in the last one. So as I go wiping, it's still there. So that won't work for nail art. You can see that inner section there, it's just not going to work. Let's even take a smaller brush and move it away. And so I'm kind of getting the same result. And in addition to that, I'm still getting all these little glitter particles on the side here. And that's meaningful for us when we're going to go over it with a top coat. That glitter is just going to stay right there. So again, I think I can confirm that Beetles is not the one for me. The chrome did work well, though. We can see that it's a nice silver chrome, but not the best one so far. Okay, let's go in with the Divock Zero Matte. Same process. I'm just going to apply the chrome with the eyeshadow applicator. I am going to whisk this off. That right there did a really good job. I might not even have to go in with the makeup sponge. I see a couple of little sparkles, but for the most part, well, I see very, very small traces of this, to the point where I would say, yeah, I'm happy with the way that this one looks. So I'm going to go in and say that yes, that's going to be a yes for the Divock. I see tiny little bits on here, but I don't know that they would be visible to, whoever's doing nails. I don't know if it would be that meaningful, these teeny little bits. All right, let's move on to the anti-chrome. The whole reason I started. And I did this little experiment. Let's give it a good wipe. And now this one is not performing as well as I wanted it to. Now, but I wonder if I did get the product over here. No, I didn't get the product there, because I can kind of wipe that off. But overall, there are no glitter particles. There is nothing here. So I guess I don't want to help this one out, because so far I feel like I don't want to be biased about, but I do see a little bit here. I would probably wipe that off with a little brush. But overall, this has less glitter particles on the rest of the nail, okay? So I'm still going to say that one's a good one. So far, the Divock and the anti-chrome, or the Zero Matte and the anti-chrome. And then this is the last one. This is the Slick Matte by Function of X. And let's go in with the chrome on this one. This one was my first, the one that I liked the most. The one that I was using before. Let's wipe this off. And this looks great. This looks fantastic too. I'm really glad I went in a second time. I see maybe one or two little particles, but also my brush here has probably got some particles on it at this point, right? So yeah, I feel like we might have 3 winners. I'm changing my mind, and I feel like we have 3 winners in this battle. However, I'm still going to not recommend this Beetles matte top coat, not for isolating chrome at least. But in looking at the rest of them, I think they would be good anti-chrome products. Okay, so we do have a triple tie here. Let me know what you think. Am I cheating because I'm letting this one go here? I do like the anti-chrome finish, the way that it doesn't have the glitter all over, but you know what? This Function of X, this Slick Matte is also doing a great job. So not to mention the Divock. The Divock one looks great. It looks really good. Okay, so after this step, we would go in with the top coat, and so that would be the next step, and then you're done here. So great. I'm glad I did this second round. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any products that you want to recommend. I would love to hear your feedback, your thoughts, and yeah. This was good. I'm really glad I got to see all these products in action. Thank you so much for spending time with me, for watching my videos. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.